Okay, so I had left off on the story when it was about to turn into my birthday because everything like changes on my birthday. And so at midnight, like I'm counting down, well, it's counting down to midnight, like literally seconds. And like I'm counting down the seconds of my birthday. Like I'm on the floor. My cousin was asleep on the couch. My aunt and uncle were like in the bed on the other side because I told y'all we were in a shack in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a storm, and the shack is like basically like in the sea. It was real crazy, like this little tiny little childish island. Anyway, so counting down to midnight, and I just hear like this weird noise outside. I don't know what it is, but I'm a little, whatever. It's about to be my birthday. I'm just gonna pretend I don't hear nothing. I'm just gonna pretend everything's fine. So boom, we hear this big knock, and it's like, okay, maybe I'm tweaking, maybe it's thunder. I don't know. Again, middle of nowhere. Um, then the second boom, like it was real loud, like it was twice as loud as the first one was. And so my cousin like jumped up out his sleep. He a little scared, like he's sitting up on the couch and he's like looking around terrified. I'm low-key laying there terrified. And then the third boom was actually like the door flew up off them hinges, like it was laying flat on the ground. Again, it's storming outside, like wild storming, like we all like a little low-key like terrified. My aunt and uncle come running out. My uncle, he come out like he straight got a gangster. He got a whole big shotgun with him and he's like, I'm armed, be warned, I'm armed. And it's just like, whoa, okay, like I didn't even know he was packing like that, but okay. So we see like this big burly man, like big man, and he had like long shaggy hair, big old coat, and he's standing there at the door. But he comes in, he steps over, comes in, and he like lifts the door up, puts the door back on the hinges, and he walks over to my cousin who's sitting on the couch, and he tells him to get his little fat self up. So my cousin get up, run over there to my aunt and uncle, and he's standing there, and my uncle's like, you gotta leave right now. And I'm just still sitting here in bewilderment. So I'm sitting there, and he goes, and there you are. And I'm looking at him like, so who is you? And my uncle tell him again, you gotta leave. And I'm just sitting there like, again, in confusion. I don't know what's going on. He tells me, happy birthday. I'm sitting here like, did I just make a wish for this? Like, I know I was counting down, but what did I miss? Like, what did I miss? Because this big ginormous stranger just bursted through the door telling me happy birthday, and then he pulls out like a little box. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but clearly it's a dream, right? Clearly. And so he pulls out this box and he opens it up, and it tells me happy birthday on a chocolate cake. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, how sweet. Like, this stranger sat here and got me a cake when my whole family probably would have just pretended it didn't happen. Like, they would pretend this day was not here. And again, we in a shack in the middle of nowhere. So the man, he says, oh, go make us a cup of tea. The journey ain't been easy, or whatever he said. That stuck with me because y'all know I like me some tea. But anyway, so he asked for a cup of tea, and my uncle's still like, you got to go. And I'm still like, I don't know who this is, but thanks for the cake or whatever. So the man, he's like, I asked him who he is again, and he was just low-key, like, he introduced himself. He like keeps some keys or something. I don't know, something about like a guard. I don't know, somebody who keep keys. And so again, shack, middle of nowhere. And so the fire was dying down and stuff, so he like walks up to the fireplace, and then he like backs up real quick, sits down on the couch. He looking at the fire because it's real pitiful at this point. And I swear his coat pockets were like something out of like Mary Poppins bag. Like, his coat was that. He's pulling out all kinds of things from his coat. Like, he done pulled out a flask. He over there was taking sips, a little sippy sip, and he pulled out like a whole like tea set. He pulled out some other stuff. The man walks over to the fireplace again, and he like makes the fire rage higher. And out of nowhere, the man got, it looked like an umbrella of sorts. The man got 6 sausages. I kid you not, 6 sausages heating up in the fire now. And I'm hungry. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, oh, best birthday ever, weirdest birthday ever, but best birthday ever, because I'm hungry. Got me some sausages, got me a chocolate birthday cake. Like, come on, like, let's be so for real. So he hands me the sausages. My uncle tell my cousin, like, hey, don't touch nothing that man got. That's fine, because I'll eat these sausages. This is my dream. This is my fantasy, right? So the man starts talking about this school that I'm supposed to like know all about or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just looking at him because I'm in bewilderment. Let me enjoy my sausages. Let me do that. This is my dream. I am the director. But he still keeps yapping about this school, and I'm just looking at him. So he's like, oh, well, y'all didn't tell him about this school? And I'm looking, and my uncle's like, My uncle is grossed out. My uncle is mad irritated. He's just like, I don't know who you is and why you were talking to him, but you may not tell him anything. And so he's really expecting me to know these things, and I didn't know. So then he says to me, he says, well, where did you think your parents learned it all? And I'm like, learn what? Like, what did they learn, and what is it that I'm supposed to be learning? Because I don't know what you talked about, Playboy. And that's when it really bothered him, because, again, I didn't know. And at this point, this is when I'm starting to realize that this is why my uncle was so aggravated about whatever he was aggravated about, because he's been extra aggravated lately. But he was like, stop talking, you can't tell him anything, mind your business. I don't remember verbatim what he was saying, but it was along those lines. And so, like, I guess my parents were like low-key celebrities. They were never gonna tell me that. And like, this man just basically told me that like I'm real famous from like when I was a baby because my parents was famous or whatever. And I don't know how they got famous. To this day I still don't know how they got famous for real. I just know that I was famous because of that man that was beefing with me. We're gonna get to that, but I just feel like y'all need the lead up still, right? So anyway, they did some back and forth, that man and my uncle. They was like yapping back and forth about how the man couldn't tell me something. He was like, you can't tell him. And he like, I'm gonna tell him what I want. And my uncle like, you better not say nothing. And the man like, anyway. So basically, he goes, this mind-boggling part. You're a wizard. I could have choked on the sausage that I was sitting there eating on. And I'm looking at this man like he insane. So I'm just minding my own business. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, again, my dream, I'm directing this. It's going where I want it to go. So then he pulls out one of those letters. Y'all, the letters from the last part. He pulls one of those letters out. And I kid you not, like my chest was like, wait, what's going on? Like, what is this? What's happening? And so he hands me the letter, and my uncle, I'm serious, like he wanted to crash out at this point. My uncle was like done for at this point. He was so over it. And the man hands me the letter, and then he like starts writing a note on this little piece of parchment, and this little owl come, y'all. It was so weird because I told y'all the owls. I'm telling you, this is how I knew I was dreaming, because we were seeing the owls in the daytime. Remember, it's nighttime now, but this owl come out of nowhere and it takes the little piece of parchment from the man, and he tells him to give some note to some other man. I guess it's his boss. I don't know, but at this point, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay. I guess the owls carry paper. I don't know. Listen, again, I'm just dreaming. It don't matter. So the little owl fly away or whatever, and then everything was kind of just like a blur. So like, apparently my aunt and uncle knew how my parents died, and they lied to me and told me some little fake story. And the reason that they chose to tell me the little fake stories, because like they didn't want me to know. I guess they didn't want me to know I was famous. I don't know. I think they have like an inferiority complex. They didn't want me to be better than them. I'm not really sure what it was, but like the car crash story of my parents dying set that big man off. He about stepped outside of his skin and was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And so yeah, it was weird. They had like a little bit of back and forth about it, and then he tells me to get my stuff so that I can get ready to attend somewhere with him. He wanted me to go somewhere with him, and you know, I'm in a dream. At first it's like, oh, stranger danger, but again, dreaming. And yeah, so I'm reading the letter, and I open the letter, I read the letter, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Again, dream world. But basically the man, he tells me that I need to leave with him, and I was like, he's insane. I finished up my sausages, had me a little bit of cake, and then he went to sleep on the couch. We stayed there that night in the shack. My aunt and uncle was pissed. My cousin went with them in the little bed that they was in, and I'm laying there on the floor in confusion because I'm like, okay, I guess I'm leaving with this man, or I'm not leaving with this man. But also, I know I'm dreaming, so I'm gonna wake up and then it's gonna happen. So I'm about to enjoy this cake while I'm asleep, right? So then morning comes, I'm like low-key still awake. And the man, he's not real, I guess he's not a morning person, I don't know. And he was very strange to get up. So anyway, we had to get on like the little boat that we had to get to this raggedy shack in the middle of nowhere on already. So we had to get on. We took the single boat. I don't even know. Listen, my family was just gonna have to struggle. Get on the boat, get off here. And so he takes me on like the train to go to like town. He said, we're gonna go shopping because the little letter. In my mind, I'm like, okay, the dream is like taking a long time. Like I must like be really like sleep. Like the storm must got me knocked out, right? So we get on the train, we like chilling, and people are just like looking at this big man, and like, I mean, I can't blame him, like, there's a big man. So we walking down the street, and I honestly haven't like been over here before for real, like not often, like I don't remember a lot of things, but anyway. So we get into like this little tavern that like I've legit never seen, like it's like little, and it's like in between two places that I know I have seen before, like vaguely in my memory. So we go into this little, it was like real shoddy, like it was real, yeah. So we get in there, and people are real friendly. The guy's real friendly. Like, again, I only went with the guy because, again, dream, but he was also real nice, you know? So we're in this place, and people are like greeting him, and suddenly they looking at me, and I'm like, well, I guess I am in a tavern. And then out of nowhere, like one of these ladies, she like greets him, and then he tells her who I am, and everybody in the spot looks at me. It's like, oh my gosh. So they all like taking turns, like trying to come greet me, trying to come talk to me. Like this one man, he just couldn't stop stuttering. Oh, bless his heart. I could barely understand what he was saying because my mind is just like reeling because all these people were trying to talk to me, right? So like all these people yip yapping with me, and it was actually like low-key like cool. Like I'm feeling like a little celebrity. Like he did just tell me I was famous, right? And so like I had to like do like a little pinch on myself. I'm like, let me give myself a little pinch. And I'm starting to think I'm not dreaming for real. And I'm starting to think I'm not dreaming for real because like I'm still sleeping. This has been going on for like a long time, and like I don't know, it was just starting to feel real strange. But again, logically I'm still asleep. So we're talking to these people, and then he tells them that we have to go shopping, we have to go get stuff for me to go to this school. Like he's not letting go of this school. That's what the letters was about, was the school. He's not letting it go. So the people are like, oh, okay, we'll let you go. And the little stuttering man, bless his heart, he's like, we'll see you later, because I guess he's one of my teachers at the school or whatever. So we go to the back of the little tavern place, and this one it gets real insane because this one I start to realize that I might not be all the way there. Like something ain't right, and I will tell y'all about that a little later. You know what? I think I'm gonna tell y'all about that later. I'm gonna keep going. So this man is knocking with his little umbrella thing, the same one that he was messing with in the shack, that like he low-key like put the sausages on, that one. So he starts tapping on the brick, and I'm standing here like, we in an alley, this man's tapping on the brick. But then the world starts to rumble, and the brick starts to like fold away, like moving. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this? Like, I'm like, this is crazy. And as it's like folding open, it's like a whole new world on the other side. Like it's some stores and some people, and they walking, and it's like just like normal stuff going on over here. And I'm like, we about to go through this brick wall that just started unfolding, and it's fine because then I'm like, for sure, like I'm sure I'm dreaming at this point. So I'm like, all right, cool. So the man's like, we gotta go shop, we gotta get the things off the list. I'm like, I ain't got no money yet. Like I don't have that. Who gonna shop for me? You balling out for me? You balling out? And so he goes, of course you have money. Your parents left you money. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Who left what for who? And he's like, yeah, your parents. You didn't think that they were just gonna leave you hanging, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, okay, well, where's that then? Like, where's it been for the last decade? Oh, well, we have to go get it. So he tells me we have to go like this bank that's like special for like these specific celebrity people or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we walk it down the street, and like things are weird. And at this point I'm like, yep, I don't know, maybe somebody done drugged me. I'm up off a boomer. I'm a child. Something ain't right, okay? And so I'm like, they drugged me. They're taking advantage of me. This is not real. And so we're walking down this like little street path, whatever, with shops on the left and the right, and I'm looking, and it's just so many interesting things, and I'm like, there's no way my mind can create these things. Like, I am not this creative, like I am not this imaginative. So I'm like, man, if this isn't a dream, this is crazy. So we get like to this real big building, and it had like multiple sets of doors. So like the first set of doors opens, and this like security measures up the woo-ha, okay? And then like it had a couple of security guards, and they were like very terrifying looking non-human things. Like they low-key look like, I don't know, gremlins, but or gargoyles, gremlins, one or the other. And so we open they open the door for us after he tells them who he is, what his business is here, whatever, the big man that I'm with. And so we get inside, and I'm like, okay, what are these things? What is they? And he tells me what they are and how they own the bank, and they like make sure that everything is secure there, like nobody can steal from here, blah blah blah. So we get up to like the main counter, and I'm just like looking around because I'm in amazement. Like, I have left bewilderment, now I'm in amazement. Like, this is so cool. And so we're standing at this counter, and this man's like, oh, well, do you have his key? And I'm standing here like, oh, that's it, I have no key. I don't even know them people you say left me money, so ain't no key. And then he goes, yep, I got it, blah blah blah. So I'm like, oh, score, okay, cool. And so like, I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm standing there, he pulls it out. He pulled out so much stuff from his pockets, y'all. I told y'all, Mary Poppins. So he pulls out the little key from his pocket. He had like all, come on now. So the gargoyle gremlin man, whatever he was, that man, we just gonna call them people because that's what they are, right? He told him, he was like, so okay, cool. And then so big man, he tells the person at the counter, he's telling him that he has to go to like somebody else's, some other like vault or whatever, outside of the one that they were taking me to for my money. And he's like, okay, cool. So we get into, he calls another dude over who comes and walks us down this little hallway. It's like so many doors, so many loops and turns and tunnels and stuff that you can see just from like the little doors. But he takes me through one, and we get like in this little I guess it's like a little train car, like a little one, like the little one. So we get inside of there, and when we're sitting in it, I'm telling you, that thing zoom. Like, y'all ever been to like Six Flags on the ones that like zip real fast, like the roller coasters that just fly? It was like 10 times faster than that. It was like high-key crazy. And like, I swore I saw like some flames blowing somewhere. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness. And the big man was like, oh, it's some dragons. It was crazy, okay? He's telling me these things, but then he had told me these things like as we were walking in here. So he's like, it's some dragons here. Listen, where? I want to see. So then we're in this little car. We get to where I'm going. I look up at big man, and he is just looking sick, and I'm like, oh, but we have to get out of the little car, and he's like low-key stumbling, like he a little wobbly. So we get out, and like, you know, the person who brought us down here, he gets up there, he's like unlocking the vault, and like, I'm expecting like to walk into the little vault and then have like a little mailbox cubby situation going on. No, he opens that little vault door, and it's like, I'm balling. I am me, because didn't you just tell me this was mine? And so I'm looking at it, and I'm taking that all in, and big man tells me, it's all yours. You really didn't think your parents were going to leave you or nothing, right? Like, that's yours. So we're going to take what you need for now. And I'm like, wait, I need it all. I ain't never had nothing. Like, oh my goodness. And how come I ain't noticed people left me this? Because I've been living like this, wearing my cousin hand-me-downs and stuff. And y'all know, like I told y'all, he about 4 or 5 times bigger than me. So anyway, I'm grabbing a little bit here, a little bit there, stuffing a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, putting a little bit here. And so we get back in the little thing, and then we have to go to like another area for the other vault that he needed to go to or whatever. And then he's still sick to his stomach. We went there. He's being real secretive. The man, he had asked the one who took us down there, he was like, how often do y'all check to see if people done broke in here? The man was like, once a decade. Okay, and so you break in here, you die, you're gone, you're unalived. So then we get what he needed. We leave there, and when we leave there, we just have to go get the rest of the stuff off this list. At this point, I've decided I'm not dreaming, because hello, I'm rich, and I'm not dreaming. So we have to go, like, we get all my books, we get like a whole bunch of stuff that we needed, just everything that we needed that was on the little list of supplies. And then we went like into this little wand shop, and I met like this little old old fella. He was very eccentric, and I got to get a little bit more of the story about what happened to my parents. And like he told me that like my special wand situation was like a sister to the one that had like beat me up when I was little. And when I say beat me up, like y'all know, it left me with some mark on my body for all of eternity. So then we left there, and oh boy, he was just still very much uncomfortable, the big man, and he just needed to go have him a little drink or whatever. And I got to go into the place where they fit you for your like I guess your school uniform or whatever. And so I went in there, and this little pale, little blonde haired boy was in there just yip yapping, and you know, talking about something about some slithering snakes and some puffy little huffles. I don't know. And so I only remember it from the conversation that he like low key reminded me of my cousin, and y'all know we don't vibe. So I was just like, okay, cool. So all of that happened in this little spot that we were in, and then he took me through like back through the little brick wall tavern situation, and like it was completely empty, like wasn't nobody in there. I guess like they were done for the day. And then he told me that I had to like go home, and I was like, what do you mean? And so it was what it was. He put me on the train. He gave me like this little ticket that he said I had to hold on to. So there was like a whole month in between that day and my the day that I'm supposed to start school. So he gave me the little ticket. I never looked at it though. He gave me like, I don't remember like specifically what it said. He just told me that I didn't have to go anywhere. I had a month or whatever, and he just low-key disappeared. I get on the train, I go home, and like for the next month I'm at home just waiting. And that's when I realized that I'm gonna tell y'all in another part.